2025 is the year of divine increase at the Christian Revival Assembly. Faithfulness is a virtue highly esteemed in the Bible and is often seen as the key to experiencing God's blessings and increase in our lives. Faithfulness involves being steadfast, reliable, and loyal in one's commitments, particularly in our relationship with God. By examining various passages from the Bible, we can gain a deeper understanding of how faithfulness is integral to spiritual growth and divine favor. The principle of faithfulness. The Bible consistently emphasizes the importance of faithfulness. In Matthew 25:21, Jesus says, "His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord." This parable of the talents highlights how God rewards those who are faithful in their duties, no matter how small they may seem. Faithfulness in little things leads to greater responsibilities and blessings. Faithfulness in stewardship. One of the key areas where faithfulness is crucial is stewardship. Luke 16:10-12 states, "He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much, and he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. If therefore ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And if ye have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own?" These verses remind us that being faithful in managing our earthly possessions and responsibilities is a prerequisite for being entrusted with greater spiritual riches. Faithfulness in relationships. Faithfulness is also vital in our relationships, both with God and with others. Proverbs 26 says, "Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find?" This verse underscores the rarity and value of a faithful person. In our relationship with God, faithfulness means trusting Him completely and obeying His commands. Psalm 31:23 declares, "O love the Lord, all ye His saints, for the Lord preserveth the faithful, and plentifully rewardeth the proud doer." In our relationships with others, faithfulness involves being reliable and trustworthy. Proverbs 25:13 compares a faithful messenger to the cold of snow in the time of harvest, refreshing and dependable. Whether in marriage, friendships, or work relationships, being faithful builds trust and strengthens bonds. The rewards of faithfulness. The Bible assures us that faithfulness is ultimately rewarded. Hebrews 11:6 states, "But without faith it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to God must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him." This verse emphasizes that God rewards those who earnestly seek Him and remain faithful. In the parable of the talents, the faithful servants are not only commended but also given greater responsibilities and joy. Galatians 6:9 encourages us to persevere in our faithfulness. "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not." This promise assures us that our efforts to remain faithful will yield a harvest of blessings if we do not give up. Examples of faithfulness. The Bible is replete with examples of individuals who demonstrated remarkable faithfulness and were blessed as a result. One such example is Joseph, who remained faithful to God despite being sold into slavery and unjustly imprisoned. Genesis 39:21-23 tells us, "But the Lord was with Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison. And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it." Joseph's faithfulness eventually led to his rise as the second most powerful man in Egypt. Another example is Daniel, who remained faithful to God despite the threat of death. Daniel 6:4-5 records, "Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him." Daniel's unwavering faithfulness resulted in God's protection and favor, as seen when he was delivered from the lion's den. Faithfulness in adversity. Faithfulness is often tested in times of adversity. Job is a prime example of someone who remained faithful to God despite immense suffering. Job 1:21-22 states, "And said, Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. Job's faithfulness ultimately led to his restoration and increased blessings. The Apostle Paul also exemplified faithfulness in the face of hardship. In 2 Corinthians 11:23-28, Paul recounts the numerous trials he endured for the sake of the gospel, including beatings, imprisonment, and shipwrecks. Despite these challenges, Paul remained faithful to his calling, and his ministry had a profound impact on the early church. Conclusion: faithfulness is indeed the key to increase. The KJV Bible teaches us that being faithful in our relationship with God, in our stewardship, and in our relationships with others leads to greater blessings and divine favor. As we strive to be faithful in all aspects of our lives, we can trust that God will reward our diligence and steadfastness, just as He did with the faithful servants of old. Let us, therefore, commit to living lives marked by faithfulness, knowing that in due season we shall reap the rewards of our labor.